There are moments in life when you can feel it, an invisible shift in the air, a quiet rebalancing of the scales, a sense that the people who hurt you aren't walking away with the victory they thought they claimed. You don't need revenge because life already has a way of returning every action to its source. And yes, I'll say it again, so it lands with the weight it deserves. You don't need revenge because karma is already doing what you don't have to. You've seen it before, the ones who walked away laughing, who thought breaking you made them powerful. The ones who believed betrayal was winning. But the truth is simple. Hurting someone is never a sign of strength. It is always the beginning of internal decay. Karma isn't magic, it's psychological gravity, pulling every choice back toward the one who made it. And today, we unveil the 5 signs that prove their fall has already begun, and the final Stoic truth that explains why. Sign 1. Restless mind as prison. The first sign karma has already started its work is the chaos you will never see, but they feel every single night. A restless mind is the most painful prison, and they're locked inside it with no escape. On the outside, they might look composed, functioning, even happy. But deep inside, the moment the noise around them fades, everything collapses. Their decisions replay themselves in a loop they cannot mute. The words they said, the things they did, the betrayal they justified, it all echoes through the silence like a hammer pounding on their chest. People think guilt is a weakness, but guilt is simply self-imposed punishment. It's the mind calling itself out, and it never sleeps. It strikes when they slow down, when they lie down, when they stare at the ceiling, pretending everything is fine. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." But when your ambitions include hurting someone, your worth dissolves, and your mind becomes the cage that keeps reminding you of the truth. They might distract themselves with noise, with friends, with the illusion of strength. But the mind keeps records, the mind keeps score. They thought you'd be the one suffering, losing sleep, replaying the story. But they underestimated you and overestimated their own ability to outrun conscience. They can run from you, but they cannot run from themselves. Every decision they made against you lives inside them now, eating away at their calm, their confidence, their sense of control. And what they don't know is that this is only the beginning, because a restless mind is karma knocking gently. What comes next hits a lot harder. Sign 2, loss of inner peace. Let me ask you something. What happens to a person who loses their peace? Not their money, not their relationships, not their image, but their internal stillness. Peace is the foundation of every strong decision, every stable emotion, every sense of direction. Without peace, even victories feel empty, and even pleasures taste bitter. And this is the second sign karma is already unfolding in their life. The slow, invisible erosion of their inner calm. You will notice it, not directly, but subtly. They become reactive in conversations. They get irritated easily. They feel threatened by small things. The mask slips, the edges show, and the emotional stability they pretended to have begins to fracture. They thought hurting you made them fearless, but it actually made them fragile. Because peace cannot coexist with wrongdoing. The mind rejects it, the body reflects it. To cope, they chase distractions, numbing routines, addictive escapes, constant stimulation. They scroll endlessly, drink more than usual, jump from person to person or plan to plan, trying to outrun the discomfort inside. But these are not solutions, they are symptoms. Symptoms of someone who believed they broke you but ended up breaking themselves. Seneca said it best, he suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. And they suffer constantly, because the storm they created now lives within them. And then something subtle shifts, a moment where they notice they can no longer sit alone without feeling exposed. A moment where the silence feels louder than the noise. A moment where peace, the kind they once had, feels unreachable. They don't tell anyone, but they feel it. And this is where karma works quietly, like erosion wearing down a stone cliff. But this internal chaos doesn't stay internal for long. It slowly begins to spill outward into their relationships, their reputation, their social circles. Because when peace disappears, the world around them responds, and it leads directly into the third sign, the silent social collapse waiting just around the corner. Sign 3, isolation from others. The third sign karma is already reshaping their life is isolation. not the dramatic kind, but the slow, creeping separation that happens when the world quietly steps back from someone. It doesn't happen overnight. It begins with subtle shifts. People stop sharing things with them, friends become distant, conversations lose warmth, trust starts fading like old ink. And they don't understand why. They think they're still the same person. But the energy around them has changed, and people can feel it even if they can't explain it. Hurtful actions don't just damage the victim. They stain the person who commits them. Their energy becomes heavy, inconsistent, unpredictable. Others sense something off, something unstable. Fake relationships, the ones built on convenience or manipulation, begin to fall apart first. The people who used to laugh with them now keep a safe emotional distance. The invitations stop coming. The attention fades. The world, without announcing it, begins to pull away. This happens because you cannot harm others without harming your own presence. People lose trust. They start noticing patterns, how this person speaks about others, how they act under pressure, how their smiles seem forced. Trust is delicate, and once it's cracked, even slightly, the entire foundation becomes shaky. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And that is the core of the isolation they face. They are no longer in control of their inner world, and others can sense it. They find themselves surrounded by noise but starving for genuine connection. It feels like the world is closing its doors on them, but in reality, the world is simply reflecting who they've become. Isolation tightens quietly. One day they look around and realize the people they thought were loyal aren't there anymore. The people they thought would stay have drifted, and the silence they tried to avoid has now become their only company. This is where the collapse begins to take shape, leading directly into the fourth sign. Sign 4. Collapse of ambitions. Every ambition built on dishonesty eventually collapses. And this is the fourth sign. Karma is already unfolding, the hidden cracking of their goals, dreams, and plans. They thought hurting you pushed them forward. They thought stepping on others made them smarter, stronger, unbeatable. But success built on betrayal is like a castle built on sand. One strong wave, one shift in the tide, and everything they built comes crashing down. It starts with small setbacks. A plan fails unexpectedly. An opportunity slips away. A partnership dissolves. People they relied on pull back. Their motivation fades. Their confidence weakens. They start questioning themselves in ways they never admit out loud. What once felt like momentum now feels like resistance. And the deeper truth is this: a guilty mind cannot build a stable future. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, everything we see is changing. Nothing is ever permanent. They believed their victory over you was permanent, but life does not honor victories that come from harming others. Life rebalances, always. Watch closely, not with revenge, but with awareness. You'll see how their own decisions begin to corner them. They sabotage themselves without realizing it. They make impulsive moves. They lose discipline. They lose clarity. They chase illusions instead of growth. They sink deeper into the consequences of their actions step by step. Meanwhile, the revenge you might have wanted becomes irrelevant because their own life becomes the teacher. Their downfall isn't loud, it's structured, natural, inevitable. And it doesn't come from punishment, it comes from the weight of their own choices. This leads to the final and most powerful sign of all, the moment they are forced to confront the truth they've been running from. Sign 5, forced to face themselves. The final sign is the most painful and the most unavoidable. At some point, every escape stops working. Every distraction loses flavor. Every excuse collapses. And they are forced to sit in the silence they've been avoiding for so long. Silence is the one thing they cannot manipulate, cannot hide behind, cannot escape from. Silence reveals who they truly are. This is where the mind begins replaying everything: the choices, the lies, the betrayals, the moments they convinced themselves they were right. Psychology calls it cognitive dissonance. The Stoics call it the confrontation of the self. It is the moment when the mind stops protecting them and starts exposing them. Their pride becomes heavy. Their past becomes loud. Their conscience becomes unbearable. Seneca once wrote, "He who suffers before it is necessary, suffers more than necessary." They suffer constantly because they cannot unsee what they did, and they cannot undo what it turned them into. They thought they were hurting you, but they were shaping their own suffering. They thought they were teaching you a lesson, but they were writing their own downfall. Meanwhile, something powerful happens to you. While they sink into the consequences of their actions, you rise, you grow, you heal, you learn. Their suffering becomes stagnation. Your suffering becomes evolution. Their guilt becomes a cage. Your pain becomes fuel. And this is the difference karma creates. They stay stuck where they left you, while you move beyond everything they imagined. These are the 5 signs: the restless mind, the loss of inner peace, the isolation, the collapse of ambitions, and the forced confrontation with themselves. And through it all, one truth remains. You don't need revenge, because life already handles what you don't have to. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." So rise, choose growth over grudges, choose strength over bitterness. If this message spoke to you, comment below, share it, and let others hear the truth too. And remember, your rise is their karma.